Hey there, welcome to my shop. I have a problem. Thanksgiving is coming up, and I don't know what to do about serving food in a socially distanced way. I mean, what is a guy to do? Are you supposed to just put food on a plate and then pass it across the table? Are you supposed to put this food in an airlock and then you put it there and someone comes back and gets it? Can you throw the plate at somebody? Can you throw the food at people with the plate? Can you throw the food in a dramatic way? So I decided on going with the dramatic food delivery service. I'm going to make a mashed potato trebuchet that shoots food at people from 6 feet away. Basically, trebuchet is a lever with pivoting about a point with a mass to give you energy and a projectile to throw. This is our lever here, and it pivots about this Sharpie marker. The weight goes on one end of the lever, and the projectile goes on the other end. The real magic here is the ratio of the lever arm from the weight to the projectile. The lever arm for the weight is much shorter than the projectile, and what that allows you to do is when this weight moves a little bit, the projectile moves a lot. So this arm can move maybe 2 inches in 1 second, but that would require this thing to move like maybe 8 inches in 1 second and shoot this projectile into the abyss. I'm going to use aluminum extrusion. This stuff is called 80/20. It has these channels in it, and those channels allow you to put a T-slot nut in here, and you can bolt hinges, other brackets, really anything to this extrusion rod. I got it from Home Depot. This will just be the pivot point for the trebuchet. Mild steel here. I'm going to plasma cut this on my plasma cutter. The plasma cutter is great because you can just CAD something up and cut it out really quickly. It actually takes more time to CAD parts than it does to cut them, which is kind of fun. Also going to use some 3D printed parts. So 3D printing is great for making shapes that you don't really care about how they're manufactured. You just want to make them quickly. So I just made it in CAD, pressed go on the printer, and it made me a part in 2 hours. This is made on a Formlabs Form 3. This is draft B1 resin from Formlabs. It's pretty great stuff. It's great for iteration. It prints quickly. Yeah, these just break off, which is kind of nice. And they also have these like squishy materials too. This is the solid model for the trebuchet. I modeled this as only half of the trebuchet because the other side of the A-frame is the same as this side, so there's no sense in modeling it twice. These are all the parts to make the A-frame structure of the trebuchet. This is the base. These form the A-arm. These brackets go in this way and they hold everything together. The cool thing about this 80/20 is you have these T-slot nuts that slide into the extrusion. You can basically have this part live anywhere on this extrusion. All you have to do is tighten it down. Here is the catapult arm. This is the full stick that I have. I only calculated that this needs to be 800 millimeters long, but it doesn't really hurt to have it longer right now, so I didn't cut it. This is going to be the pivot point, and I can slide this back and forth to change kind of the ratio of the weight to the catapult end or the scoop end. I have the scoop end here. This just kind of slides over this end of the 80/20, and you run a bolt through. Obviously, you can see this bolt is too short to work. So I went to my bolt bin. This also is too short. I've got these M5s, but they're too long. So right now, I don't have the right bolt. You bolt this part onto the 80/20, but that's not really a big deal. We're just prototyping here, so you can just tape it. Who cares? Tape, super glue. Whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. And this is just, we're hacking stuff together, so it doesn't really need to be perfect. I mean, I just might keep this forever because it's probably good enough for what I'm trying to do. Pivot, scoop, pivot. It's 90 degrees off. Scoop, pivot. like a glove. All right, let's give this a try. 25 pound weight here. Let's give her a try. Whoa, that was scary. I think that'll do it.
Mark, that's terrifying.
Wow, that went way better than expected. The inertial forces broke the tape, and the scoop went flying off and hit my garage wall and broke this arm off. I'm going to reprint this in a tough material, but I don't think it's the material's fault that it broke. I think it's because of my poor planning and not bolting it down. The weight that I used was much bigger than I had calculated for. Having to dial back the power on the Trebuchet is a great problem to have because it's very easy to do. Found something. Some cookie cake from the Better 3/4's birthday. Don't tell her. Hey, that worked pretty well. That went about 3 feet, but we're halfway there. So 6 pounds. Why didn't that work? The knot that I made did not hold up. The weights are on the ground, and the trebuchet isn't all the way in the fire position. So it looks like I just need to figure out how to tie a knot. So I checked YouTube, and it looks like you have to be there's something called a Boy Scout, and you learn how to tie knots there. It seems like a lot of work, so I just taped the string a little bit higher up on the weights. Hopefully it works. Oh yeah, this is totally gonna work. That hit my ceiling, and then came down. I guess the only logical thing to do now is to try the trebuchet with a 25 pound weight, see what it does. Hopefully won't have a huge mess to clean up. Also, on that note, I didn't reprint the scoop. I just taped it on a lot more. That wasn't that bad. I've got my potatoes, got my cup of Joseph. Let's see how this goes. That was fast. I was having problems with consistency, so I added these washers to the pivot, and I also welded the pivot to the arm, basically. So now this travel should be the same between different throws. That was fast. Here it is in all of its glory. These are some clips of me using the trebuchet with a 15 pound weight. The tree was too close to the trebuchet, so most of the time the potatoes just hit the tree and then rained right next to the camera. I know some people will say that's technically not a trebuchet because it doesn't have the string to fling the potatoes. Fight me in the comments section. Just kidding. Don't fight me. I didn't do that because the payload was squishy, so it was pretty difficult to make it leave at the right time. Maybe in the next video I could do that, but Thanksgiving is pretty soon, so I want to get this out in time. Towards the end I was still having consistency issues, it seems that the trebuchet is pretty sensitive to the amount of weight that is applied to it, basically the size of the mashed potato ball. I had pretty good luck just kind of manually trying to get things the same weight, but I could tell that the potatoes would go a different distance if the potatoes weren't the same amount of weight. I would say that this is a success though. The trebuchet did shoot over 6 feet. It would go over a plexiglass shield. It did land on a plate, so I'm pretty excited about the results. Thanks for watching.